Welcome back to another episode of Baby Daddies. We are joined here by top three. I want to say finalists because the top three really felt like the moment before the finale, right? So to me, you're a finalist. We were joined by Quis. Quis, how the hell are you? Welcome to the show.
What's up? What's up? I'm doing good. I'm feeling blessed. Thank you guys for having me on. I'm super excited to just get into the things today.
We had a lot to get into. We got
a
really
lot
happy to have you here.
Yes.
We were watching the episode and we were like, who should we have? Who should we have on? Towards the halfway point, we were like, Quis. It's a Quis episode.
Immediately.
It was time. Yeah, it was time. It was time. I know that we'll get into this, but me and Jimmy's storyline wasn't the focal point of the season just because we were really enjoying ourselves, really having a good time, weren't really worried about what the other people were doing. So, but I think this was the perfect time for this to happen. So.
For sure.
And as you see, I'm repping
Jimmy.
I'm repping my season.
Yes.
Season 2. Just
Come on, season 2 shirt.
Yes.
For those of you watching the video version, you can see Quis' shirt. If you're just on Apple Music, which I think the only version that doesn't have a video is Apple Music. So if you're on Spotify or YouTube, you'll see it.
Yes.
Let's hop into this episode. So we start out. It's the top three in the room. You are on cloud 9. You're happy to be here. And Derek and Anthony were a little nervous to lose to Hazel in the compatibility test, which as a viewer, I was like, what are they nervous about? Like, there's no, like, of course they weren't going to be, of course they were going to, but now after talking to Anthony last week, I can see like how stressed they were going into the compatibility test. So that makes a little more sense now.
Yeah. I mean, I can see a little bit why they were nervous. Of course, we kind of pretty much ultimately knew that Kane and Hazel were just not compatible. But, like before that, me and Anthony were kind of, going in a little bit. So we were both like, oh my God, like if one of us gets eliminated after we just, told this bitch, you gotta go, we gonna look stupid as hell. And we didn't want to look stupid. So we just, like I said, what if there was a gust of miracle wind and they would have won?
The miracle wind.
It's
so funny to me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so Derek, Anthony was thinking the same thing. Like, he was like, man, if they just somehow just win, it's gonna suck. But they didn't, which I already knew. We already pretty much knew. Love them both, but we knew what their stance was in that competition, and it just was time for them to go.
100%. Jimmy is tired of having to vote to send people home. He's like, please take it out of my hands. Take it out of my hands. And just like that, it is out of his hands because y'all hear a bunch of noise outside and the daddies are back.
Yes.
They come in lined up, looking fine. I must say, they was all looking real good.
They looked good. I mean, we weren't expecting that. We knew that they were like coming like right before they had came. So it's not like we woke up, they're like, oh, we're going to have the new daddies come. So kind of get ready. Like it was like, oh, they're here. So you guys like, let's go. So we were like, oh shit. Like, yeah, like I wonder how this is going to go. And I mean, like I did send them home, but I mean, I was in pretty good stance with the daddies. The Himbos was a different story, but
yeah.
Well,
we'll see.
Yeah.
I did like you said. It's the garbage disposal, regurgitating everything
back up. Like, what are y'all doing here? Y'all got to stay home. Stay home. This is a house full of real bitches. Y'all need to go home.
And the couples are tasked with answering questions from the daddies, and the daddies will choose who advances. So let's go through some of these questions. I wrote them all down. So Looter starts out. He says, who should I send home and why? Which to me, Looters was living his Drag Race fantasy, But I think fundamentally he was misunderstanding his role here because as you called him out on, which I liked, you said, this is a trick question. You're not sending someone home.
You're advancing
a couple.
Somebody, right. So worry about who you want to continue. But I mean, Looters, he probably had his outfit picked out like 3 days before filming this. He was ready to go, ready to do this, ready to be messy, ready to like, stir something up because, he was the first one gone. So we pretty much knew like whatever came out of Looters' mouth wasn't going to be something fair. It wasn't going to be anything, that was pleasant. So, but I must say, he did set the bar with his answer. He set the tone. Even though it was a competition, at that point, we really felt like we really deserved to be there. So we didn't want to start bashing each other. It would have been probably nice to watch, you know what I'm saying? But we did not just want to, get up there and bash each other. We have this and this couple doesn't, that's why they should come. We didn't want to do that. We didn't want it to turn into that. So we definitely took control over what he was trying to do.
Definitely. I like the Miss America of it all. You're all standing there very prom style with your man.
It was like, it looked like I don't know, like a family photo or something. We're just on the stairs. It reminded me of like a Kardashian family photo, like trickling down the stairs, levels, everything. It was cute.
It was cute.
Yes.
Sal asks, what advice do you have for couples about conflict resolution? I think this was a good question to ask.
I think so too.
That's a perfect
question. I think so too. I mean, as far as the question, it was a good question. The thing about me and Jimmy personally, we didn't have too much conflict within each other, within our relationship. So honestly, we were just like, we know how to communicate. You know what I'm saying? We know how to effectively communicate. Very honest and open with each other and everything. So as far as us, it was just about, us continuing to do what we've been doing. So
yeah. And I like that Jimmy says it's about not letting it fester. If it comes up, you handle it.
Yeah, yes. Jimmy, he's a realist. That's the one thing about him. So he's gonna always keep it real, and he's gonna always be realistic, and he's gonna, always just deal with it right then and there. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, he's not gonna be, aggressive about it or like hostile about it, but he will talk about it and deal with it right then and there for sure.
Yep, I think I'm the same way. I may not bring it up in public. I mean, but the second we leave and I didn't appreciate how this was said, or I didn't like this, I'm gonna handle it relatively close to when it happens.
Yeah, and the thing is, I've told Jimmy that before. Like, it was kind of like in a joking way, but I told him, I'm like, if you did something that I didn't like, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna go off on you in public. I'm gonna go off on you behind a closed door. So
yeah. It will be handled. You may not see us fight in front of the cameras like everyone else, but there will be a conversation. It might not even be a fight, but it'll be a conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then Matt asks, and Matt, the way he asked this question, I was like, "Girl, what?" It was so roundabout. He said, "If you win, you'll be the envy of other people," and then he said some other stuff. How do you want? Basically, what he was saying is, how do you want to be viewed as a couple? Or do you care about how you're viewed as a couple? I mean, it makes sense. You're on TV, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I can kind of see it.
I mean, yeah, I guess, like being a couple after, come off the show, you can't be seen as a public figure. People are going to, want to know, are they still together? Is it like how they were in the house, everything. So, I mean, I understand what he was trying to ask. I mean, as far as me, I just kind of wanted to show, things can happen unexpectedly, but sometimes the best things happen, when you just least expect it.
Yeah, Nigel and Rico had a good one here. They spun it, they were like talking about in the sense of you don't often see people on TV being loved who look like the two of them. You don't see bigger couples getting that type of love on TV. So I like that. That was good.
I like that too a lot. I did.
Then Dr. Ed asks, what is the most important factors to a healthy relationship?
I mean, I forgot. What did I say? I don't know if I answered or if Jimmy answered, but I mean, I'm sure that we probably talked about like communication, just kind of just being on the same page with one another. Always, just always willing to be open about like not bottling stuff up, because that's just when shit hits the fan if you do that. So.
In the confessionals, Rico's talking about how he's a little nervous that Dr. Ed is going to choose Anthony and Derek because of the twins.
Yeah.
Rico also says something here that struck me a little odd. He talks about equality, which I think after he explained it, I was like, okay, it makes a little more sense, but it's not really equality. It's more like balance and putting the same amount of effort in.
Yeah.
But I just think like the word equality, I was like, wait, what? I think that it made me a little weird.
Yeah, I mean, it can, like, when you say equality, it can go into, like, different things, but I think balance is a much better way to say it.
Yeah, balance. Like, we both put in the same amount of effort.
We both put in.
When he said equality, I'm thinking, I'm like,
no, right, yeah.
Se puede, we can do it. I was like, okay, work, sister, yes.
Yeah, it definitely could be misconstrued, for sure.
Yeah. Barry says, I don't see some of these relationships working. Of course, Barry had to come in with a little shady comment before.
Of course, Barry did.
Yeah. I mean, you see when he left the house, he had nothing to say. So now he has
clap
stuff
it
to
up
say
for
now.
Barry. Clap it up for Barry.
Let's clap for Barry. I mean,
explain.
I guess, he felt that way. One thing that I can give props to Barry about is that him and Marcus are still together right now. So, and like, and like I said this on the show, I'm not a hating ass bitch. So you know what I'm saying? Like if it's real, then it's real. But I never thought that they were not into each other. You know what I'm saying? I never thought that. But I mean, he feels how he feels, and that's just that. I mean,
I thought it was very evident that they're into each other.
Yeah,
Mario said, "Oh, confused that they're still together, girl. We saw the clips. We saw the clips."
I mean, when it comes to this reality TV stuff, like it's just always questionable. Is it real? Is it fake? Are they just doing it for the cameras? Are they just doing it to stay in the house and everything? But I mean, people are going to question it, but they are still together. But I mean, as far as the house, I mean, still there, and he wasn't. So it is what it is. He's on that side, I'm on this side. So that's that.
The thing for me was like, I always believed that they were into each other, but the way that they played the game was a little too hard and fast, and it blew up in their faces the way it did.
It did. I did tell Barry, because by the way, me and Barry are very, very close now. He's one of the people from the cast who I'm like the closest to. And we always talk about it and we always like get into it. I told him maybe if they would have chosen someone who's like been in the house and kind of build a foundation with somebody who's been in the house already, maybe that would have gave them a little bit more longevity in the game. But since the fact, they picked each other, I mean, but like it was a true thing. Like they really liked each other. So, I mean, but they picked each other. So it was kind of like, a package deal. The new bitches had to go.
Yeah.
They had to go.
Yeah. And the last question we get, Kane says, give me one statement on why you're so compatible since everybody beat me in the compatibility test, basically is what he says.
He's like, who is really compatible for real?
Exactly. Let's get into it. Man, and I like the two you talk about how you get along despite your differences. And I think that's a really nice thing to see.
No, for real. I mean, you just wouldn't think that me and Jimmy would, even correlate or even, have anything in common or anything like that. But I mean, like, we really actually took the time to get to know each other and just, talked about, life before the show, life after the show. And like we really grew a true bond, which is why we won the compatibility test. And with that test, there was just like, there was no hiding. And honestly, because that episode, like, because we just really thought that we were gonna win that whole challenge. So we didn't even think that we were gonna have to even deal with that. But I mean, it is what it is. I personally think that our photos, let me just say this. I personally think that our photos, they did explain to us, they were like, this is not America's Next Top Model, so we will not be judging from your photos. I was like, okay,
what?
That's fine.
I thought they were judging for the photos.
I thought it was like a half and half kind of thing.
That's what I thought it was, 50-50.
Nope. They told us, they were like, this is not a modeling competition. It's not America's Next Top Model. We will not be judging off how good your photos look.
What? I thought that was whole part of it.
It was solely based on Rachel's opinion and how she felt during that interview, which I knew that we can, kill that too, which I feel like we did really, really good. I mean, because she chose the winner. She wasn't there during the photo shoot. She didn't see the photos. She wasn't there while we were taking the photos, and she didn't see the photos after they were taken. So she chose the winner based off the interview. I still think that we should have won. I loved our photos because I mean, I model. I'm an editorial model. You know what I'm saying? I do Fashion Week and everything. And a lot of the other boys are like, they do like the boy toy kind of thing or whatever. But I knew what I wanted when we got that challenge presented to us. And I told Jimmy, I was like, just take direction and we're gonna get this and we're gonna kill this. And our photos are photos that you would actually see in a real magazine. You know what I'm saying?
And it showed the way you led Jimmy was so smart, and you could see, like, I could see like kind of the cogs turning in your head. You're like, no, we're gonna do this. You're gonna follow me, and it comes out in the photos because the photos are gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I just was like, and this is exactly why. And Jimmy was like so pleased too, and he didn't mind at all just falling into whatever, whichever way I told him to move or whatever, and he just felt so comfortable, and like he trusted me because he knew, because like I said, we've been talking. At that point it was top four, so he knows what I've done, and he's seen what I've done, so he was like, okay, you got this, so we got this, and I think that we killed it, and I think that we should have won, but things happen certain ways. So
there was a lot of discussing. Dr. Dilf told Matt not to discuss too fast because you didn't get on camera for a long time the first time.
Right. Take your time, milk this moment. Come on.
And there was talk of the of Dr. Ed, like, maybe voting for Derek since he was the boyfriend of Daniel. And I was like, no, this is going to be an impartial decision. And that's what he also said too. And then they talked it out. Stormy said, wait, we're going to do it in private. And then we're going to drop him on them while they're on the party boat. And I was like, oh, Stormy, always so messy. But damn, do always I love something. It.
Right. She's a storm. She comes in storming for real. I mean,
it's the way. Oh, no, you go.
I was just going to say, as I was watching it, I was wondering, were they going to say it right there too? Because, I didn't know. I was like, are they going to say who they want to, like advance right now? But then, Stormy came in and said, hold up. We saving it for later.
That's what I was going to say, because Barry's like, well, we haven't shared our, and then she's like, shut the fuck up. Say that shit in private. We move on to this party boat. Party boat was cute. How was the vibe on it?
It was so fun. We have not been able to, we were stuck, locked in that house. We were not able to, really play music. We had one day where we could it was called our dark day, where we could just chill, play music, and just chill in the house and enjoy the house. But that was another day where we got to just chill. I mean, slightly, because we knew that somebody was about a, community. So it kind of was still in the back of our head still as far as the competition. But that was one moment where we could just let loose. I did something I've never done before, which was snorkeling. Let loose. No,
sorry, it popped into my head.
I mean, how can you not? Come on now. But no, yeah, I went snorkeling for the first time. I just got to shake my ass, listen to music, do what I wanted to do with my man. We were chilling. We were having a good time. And I just kind of wanted to just enjoy the moment because I think we snorkeled after we found out who got advanced. So I was like, okay, at this point, let's just enjoy this time that we got here. And then once we get back to the house, game back on.
We got a couple little mini dates here. You and Jimmy talk about how you've never dated a white man before. And it's all good because as long as you lead with love, your family will do the same, which I thought was really sweet.
Yes,
talk definitely. About always saying hello when you enter a black person's house.
Yep.
That part is true. That part for me stuck out because as someone who is black, I always look at the black experience on television and music, media, whatever it is. And when you said, when you come into my house, say hi to my mama, say hi to my grandma, say hi to everyone, I felt like you were just you were speaking to me, for me. And I honestly, I told Jake and Abel, my boyfriend, I was like, hey, what he's saying is correct. You say hi to everyone. If you don't, you will hear about it that night. And then for the rest of your life, you will hear about it.
Yes. No. So, I mean, look, I was being for real, and I was just being, genuine and authentic. I literally, I had an ex-boyfriend who didn't do that. And that was a problem. And then when somebody, doesn't speak, it's like, is he okay? Is something wrong? So I had an ex-boyfriend who didn't, already understand that. So even though Jimmy, I think that he would without me telling him, but I'm gonna speak about it. So I was like, when I bring you to my family, just, say hello, how are you? That's all. But he already knew that, like he said. So, but it was definitely a moment where a real moment where, if I bring somebody to my home, speak, period.
Next, we get Nigel Rico, and they're talking about sore losers making everything a problem. And Nigel says a relationship should be a roller coaster, which,
I wrote down here, I was like, I don't know about that.
I personally don't know if a relationship needs to be a roller coaster. I'm not saying relationships shouldn't have their ups and downs because everybody has them. If you have nobody has a picture perfect relationship. That being said, I don't know if I would describe the perfect relationship as a roller coaster. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it like you said, it definitely comes with ups and downs, but it shouldn't be like a roller coaster. Like I feel like a roller coaster is this whole like crazy journey, but I mean, it shouldn't be like that the majority of the time. You know what I mean? Because if it's that, like, how are you enjoying each other if it's always a roller coaster? You do have that like gray area where you're still getting to know each other. You know, maybe you guys are still trying to see if it will be something that will go far or not, but it shouldn't always be a roller coaster. I agree with you.
And a relationship being a roller coaster, now that's the Latina experience. I'll say that.
Okay.
I mean, when he said the roller coaster thing, I was thinking of the Rihanna, like, We Found Love music video where they're like happy fighting and then they're like throwing stuff in the next scene.
Oh,
and I was like, is that what you want? Because I mean, just date a Latina, like Jake said. I mean, you can have it.
Listen, La Toxica, they're out here.
I mean, some people thrive off of it. I don't know. Some people just get their rocks off from it.
Yeah, but I like not one of those people.
No, me either. I like peace. You know, I like being on the same page, and you know, let's do this together. You know, with each other, not against each other. So,
I like a little drama.
I mean, it happens naturally. You know what I'm saying? A little bit, but
let's not get crazy. But you know.
Right. Exactly. Let's not get too crazy.
Exactly. Now, Anthony and Derek talk about meeting Anthony's daughter, which we have heard a little bit about before.
Yes.
And I know like a couple people either in like the comments or other things, or like even when we were watching it, there were some people that were like, why is he so worried about people meeting his daughter? She's like grown. She's like 23. But after speaking to him last week, and seeing how protective he is of his space and his family and the people that he's close to, like he was saying in our episode, I understand now why, you know, this is such a big thing. Of course, as a parent, you don't want to be bringing over every single person you're dating unless you're sure that this is something serious that you want to keep moving forward with them. So I'm like, I understand not gatekeeping your daughter, but kind of like gatekeeping people from meeting your daughter, because that's like a rite of passage. You know, that's something you got. Like he says, you got to earn that.
Yeah, I mean, I never ever thought like, oh, why is he taking that so serious? I
Me
feel like
either,
that's a serious thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean that's my daughter, you know.
Right? No, for real, like that's his daughter. Like he, and I know that I think he did mention that she was a big reason why he did the show. I think she really wanted him to do it. I mean, like I have, you know, cousins who, you know, don't bring guys around their kids, like every guy that they meet. You know what I'm saying? Because you know you don't want your kids to just see you go through this person and then the next person and the next person. You want to know that it's going to be something that's going to last before you know, bring them into that world. So that's just steps that you take in a relationship. You know, we get to know each other. And once I feel like that we solid, all right, let me bring you into this part of my life too. And then, you know, so forth and so forth. Yeah.
And also, like, even if she's 22, 23, that's still like an impressionable young age. Like, if I think of myself at like 22, bitch, I could have fallen for that fucking Cutco knife scam. Like, I don't want to bring nobody like that.
Not
like,
Cutco.
No. And I mean, I feel like at 22, like she just might be, you know, very opinionated about who he is dealing with. So he don't want to bring some clown around, and she'd be like, "Dad, what is this? Like, who is this?"
Yeah,
like, it's different. This? No, right. Yeah, I mean, it's different, you know, when they're like really, really young or something. Like, but you know, kids will say stuff too. They will say whatever they feel like. So.
Well, you know, kids, I think, will say the truth a little. They'll say it even more. They'll be like, "Why you sound like a girl?
Why you ugly? I don't want to hug you. You look ugly.
Why your foot turn up like that? I don't like that.
Why you walk like that?
Yeah,
that is crazy. Literally,
kids, they will always let you know the truth." And then we all get on the back of the boat to open up a case, and the winner of the Oscar, you know, the best film of the year goes to Anthony and Derek. Congrats to them.
Derek, yes, congrats. You know what? In that moment, me and Rico was like, because the thing is, me and Rico is also someone who I'm closest with from the cast. Me and Rico, we knew each other before we filmed the show. We worked together in LA at a runway show for the same brand. And me and Rico just hit it off. And then once we both kind of maybe thought that we were going to be on a show, or no, once we both found out that we were going to audition for the show, we were like, oh, we hope that we can both get on. And, then it happened. Super, super grateful to have been with somebody who I knew prior to the show. And we just have this bond that was like, okay, no matter what. And we didn't really speak about this in the house because we kept it on the low, like low. We were just like, no matter what, we are not going to scheme or lie to each other. We can scheme and lie to the rest of these bitches. But we're not going to do it to each other. We're not going to do it to each other. I feel like you need at least one real loyal person when it comes to games like this. You know what I'm saying? You need at least one person that's going to be in your alliance and be solid. So we pretty much had that solid alliance from jump, like, from the get, which is how certain eliminations happened. We both agreed about Nick. We both, we're just in agreement of who should go home. But in that moment, we were like, we have no control over the game no more. None at all. So the game was, we were playing the game the whole time, but then up until that point, the game started playing us.
Yeah, I mean, the alliance can only take you so far. I mean, you see in things like Big Brother, like in Big Brother, people always have like a top 2 or a top 3 alliance to get them there. But once you get up there, it's kind of every man for themselves.
It is. Oh my goodness. And we were really, really just making things work for us to be top 2. We were like, let's make it to top 2 and then let's go at each other's throats. You know what I'm saying? We just had that plan and we were right there. Right there. But then I was like, you know what? Who came in second place? You always remember top 3. So yeah.
That's what I said. Like to me, this really the top 3 felt like these are the best couples that we could have had, right? So for I feel like the finale, the top 2 is just there. Like of course they're there to win. But for me, the top 3, this had the most stakes I felt because it was all seeing how all 3 of you bounce off each other to me was a little more again. Not and we'll see next episode if it gets a little juicier. But to me, I was like, the stakes are as high as they could possibly be right now.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like at that point, it was like, who's gonna take the win home? You really don't know who. I mean, a lot of people were rooting Nigel and Rico from jump, from the beginning, just because I just feel like they're very, very relatable to a lot of people. So, but you still just didn't. You probably wanted them to win, but you still didn't truly know who was going to win, just because of each couple had strong connections in different ways too, and such different dynamics and everything too. So I think it was a juicy top 3, definitely.
No, now knowing that you and Rico knew each other previously, that makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Remember, it was episode 2 or 3 when I think Rico was by himself. It was a himbo's choice, and you were like, "Hey, I'm gonna give up my daddy time so you can be with Nigel." That makes me so happy.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, and I'm at that point of the competition. I mean, I wasn't I was really solid with my connection with Jimmy, and we were still growing. And I knew that me and Nigel, it was just going to be a key. It was just going to be, hey girl, so what's up with you and Rico? That's pretty much it. So I was like, you want to see your man? I'm gonna let you go ahead, do your thing. So that was genuine. I wanted him to just, have that time. Yep.
I think you do some snorkeling. How was that?
Scary as hell. I was not ready to snorkel. It was my first time snorkeling, and I was just like, okay, I've seen this in movies and stuff, but I've never done it. I don't know. We had instructor there with us, and they were like, if you go low enough, you can see a wreck. I was like, oh no, I don't want to see that.
That scares me.
I kind of want to stay surface level. And it took me a while to get my breathing under control. I was swallowing water. I was like, I had to get back up. I was like, I can't do this, y'all. I cannot do this. I got to get back up. But the instructor came in the water with me. Jimmy, he didn't want to get in the water. So it was me, Rico, and Nigel. And so it was Rico and Nigel, being support for each other. Jimmy was supporting me from the boat. I didn't go too far from the boat. So the instructor jumped in there with me and was
great,
like,
sweetie.
Yes, it was that. He's like, keep going, hon, keep going. I'm like, I'm trying to. The instructor came and she was like, look, just chill, move your arms and legs. He's like, breathe, get your breathing under control. I don't know. I just wasn't used to breathing while being underwater still.
It's hard.
It was like a mind fuck. I was like, okay. It was like psyching me out. So, but then after a little bit, I relaxed, got used to it. The water honestly felt really, really good. And I just kind of just like let go. And then I had fun. There were jellyfish, but I seen a jellyfish and I like kind of panicked. I was like, wait a minute, these are jellyfish in here. We're not supposed to be next to those. Like, hold on, wait a minute. But they were like friendly jellyfish. Like they would sting you, but it was like a little pinch. It wasn't there's some deadly jellyfish out there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I watch a lot of like Nature's Deadliest. I love stuff like that. So that's what probably fucked me up. But I was like, we're not supposed to be next to these. But no, they were much harmless. So once I, figured all that out, I was chill. And like I said, I felt like a little ballerina. Nice. So graceful under the
water. and Derek on the boat were like, I saw jellyfish there. I said, hell no, not this here. Right. I'm going to just stay up here.
No, yes. I mean, I think we all was like, wait, it's jellyfish? But then they explained to us, don't worry, they're the nice kind. I'm like, cool, okay.
Oh.
Jellyfish are kind of cute. They look like little paper bags.
Yeah.
And
like plastic bags.
Tap them, no, yeah. And I felt one, like I felt the top of one. You know how they have like the little thing on top of it?
Yeah.
What did it feel like?
It felt weird. It felt like plastic jelly. Like, okay, let me not do too much for it before I get mad and bring his friends over here and start doing something.
Just start.
They go from nice jellies to bad jellies.
Right, to bad jellies. And then they all want to come and jump me. No, I'm good.
Well, it looked like a fun time. I was like, yeah,
it was
snorkeling.
No, yeah, it was. I would do it again. I would.
Mario, get on season 4. And then I will locate the location of the mansion and I will snorkel my way toward the mansion.
Snorkel down the coast and end up there. I would love to go snorkeling. I was watching y'all and I was like, damn, I wish I could swim because I would love to get in the water. Like it's probably hot because it's Florida. Like you get to see the sights and
no, I mean that was the good thing about it. It was like deadly hot in Florida. Like I've been to Miami before, but it still wasn't that hot. That time, I mean, it was the middle of summer. We filmed in July, and it was scorching hot. So being able to kind of get in the water and just do whatever, it felt like really good. So that's why I was telling myself, be in a moment, chill out, really enjoy this. So that's what I wanted to do.
Nice. Then after the party boat, we all go back to the hibachi dinner where Barrett, Stormy's husband, joins y'all. Mm-hmm. Barrett was kind of serving bisexual magician today.
He was, if he had like a hat on and like a coat with that like long cape.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Like that, exactly. That's crazy.
It's like the eyeliner kind of smudged and the piercings. I was like,
the piercings.
That is a magician.
Secretly, he's a magician.
And Stormy's in a really cute purple and pink number. It's shiny. It's glittery, like all the things that she wears. It looks gorgeous.
Yes. I loved her styling this season. I thought it was like really, really good. I loved all her looks.
Yeah, she had a lot of good fits this season. I love it.
She did.
And next episode we get the feather, the
iconic
feather. Yes,
that's
that
the
blue
one.
Feather look. Yes, that was like honestly, I think that was my favorite look. I love that look. We were like, oh my god, yes, it's perfect.
Yeah, we were watching the preview for next episode. We're like, that's the one. That's the
one on the picture.
Yes, yes.
And we get some hibachi. Rico talks about how Matt tried to take him away from Nigel, which I feel like is a little bit of a reframing of the situation. I don't know if that's exactly how it happened.
I mean, because Matt, he had to choose somebody, and he had to choose somebody. It's not like he was like, just doing it because he wanted to, even though, he did want Rico, but I mean, he had to pick somebody. He didn't want to pick none of us. He wanted to pick Rico. So, exactly. And of course, he would have preferred Rico to choose him over Nigel. But of course, like when you're in the relationship, it can I'm sure to Nigel it felt like Matt was going to take Rico from him. You know what I'm saying?
100%. But I'm like, he had to choose somebody.
He had to choose somebody.
It's like a little out of his control. And then Stormy reveals that she was the tiebreaker between whether Rico and Nigel or Anthony and Derek had made it to the advancement, which I'm like wondering how things would have shaken up if Rico and Nigel made it up first and it was you and Jimmy versus Anthony and Derek. I think that would have also been really interesting to see.
That would have been interesting. That would have, just knowing that they were the Daddy's choice to advance. I wonder how that would have played out. I wonder.
Yeah. And Stormy says that she saw some red flags regarding how Rico handled the Matt situation. And the look on their faces when she said that, I was like, the face cracked.
Rico was like not too happy to hear that because I think to him he handled it well, but I guess Stormy was coming from like why put Nigel through all that emotional stress, I guess, because Nigel's very emotional. So he felt that, and I guess Stormy felt that too. But I don't think that Rico intentionally wanted to hurt Nigel's feelings. But like I said, me and Rico were in an alliance. Nigel went against our alliance, in the beginning of the competition, and so that's what stemmed from Rico kind of being unsure, should he continue with Nigel or should he see what can happen with Matt. Nigel showed a little bit of disloyalty, but I am happy that he chose to stay with Nigel, though. I really am.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Really am.
Yeah, I think to me, Stormy basically was like, I mean, I think she really said it. She was like, I didn't think you had to hurt his feelings that much, which Nigel was very in touch with his emotions. So I think Stormy really just picked up on that part of the situation and being like, there could have been a way to handle it where you talk to him a little more instead of just going with Matt, and maybe the feelings would have been spared a little bit. But either way, all water under the bridge at this point.
Yeah.
And Jimmy is about to go in after hearing that y'all came technically in third place, right?
Yeah.
And the food gets dropped off.
I know, right? I'm like, can this happen like 5 minutes later? I don't know. But I mean, the food was good. So shit.
Oh no, you said the food was good. I was like, I mean, I want to try a little toss of my salad and hibachi vegetables. I need to I was going to bring up the menu at the end. We can bring it up now.
That menu was funny.
I wrote hibachi hot house on my notes, and the choke and the chicken, it was like, the whole menu was gold.
Yeah, I was like, I want all these. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, bring me a little bit of everything, actually. Thank you.
Yes. And the chef was so cool. He was like doing all little tricks and stuff. I was like, oh, this is nice.
I love that. Hibachi's fun. Hibachi's a good time.
It is, always.
Mm-hmm. And Jimmy basically talks, in this segment, he basically says the same thing that he said in our episode with him, about the pitfall of being a well-adjusted human on television, because if you don't have the drama, you're not the focal point of reality TV, which is great for a relationship, but bad for reality TV.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, it's just true. I mean, we were genuinely enjoying each other, getting to know each other, just enjoying each other's company, and really just getting into the kind of people that we are, and getting into the fact that we got chose by default, but we're really we really have so much in common. So there wasn't no bumps in our relationship or whatever, but I knew as a viewer, I knew that certain things were going to happen from the middle to the end of the season. So I mean, I wasn't worried. I'm not someone who is going to be fishing for camera time, but I know what I bring to the table, and that's just me being real, and that's what me and Jimmy both were. We were real, so, and we both just genuinely like each other. So
and I think towards when there were more people in the house, I think it was a little easier for the two of you to get lost. But we see once people started getting eliminated, you became the focal point, even without drama necessarily. You just started becoming more present, which we just see over the course of the season.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, there was, of course, there's certain things that just wasn't shown and everything. But I mean, that's what TV is. You know, you don't know what they're going to show and don't know what they're going to edit out and everything. So, but it is what it is. I'm pleased with the show. So I'm pleased with how I carried myself, and that's just that. And it's not going to be the last time you see me on TV. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what we're excited for. We'll see more.
Yes, you will.
And then the himbos come in. Before I start reading out all these questions, talk me through your feelings when you saw them come out, because we see it all over your face. You said, "Look me in the eyes when you speak to me."
You said that, and I got a little scared.
Talk us through that.
Because I said that because I'm sitting there, you know what I'm saying, at the table, and as soon as people coming out, I'm right here. And then like I knew that it was already happening. I knew that, and then when Nick asked his question, he says, "Rico, I'm a big fan of your relationship."
That's when I was like,
I rolled my eyes. I was like, girl.
So I mean, the thing is, I'm trying to figure out if I can talk about this or not. There was just like some animosity before that. And when I heard that the himbos were coming back, I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. Just because there was an incident that wasn't shown on the show about someone trying to get me disqualified from the house. And it wasn't shown just because like things just didn't, like how the storyline like played out. It just like wouldn't have made sense, but it still happened. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it still happened. And me, and this is involves Nick. Me and Nick are cool now and everything, and we have talked about it. But just so I can speak my truth and explain why I said, look me in my motherfucking eye when you talk to me. The day that Nick had got eliminated, so like there was a rule that we couldn't bring any outside alcohol in the house. So so that we couldn't like, order anything or nothing like that or whatever. So he had somebody bring a bottle in the house. And then once he got eliminated, he planted a bottle under my bed. Well, our beds our beds had a drawer. You know how beds have like drawers on the side of them? He had put the bottle in that drawer. And after he got eliminated, I didn't know he did that. But I mean, all my shit's in that drawer, my snacks, all my stuff in my hair and everything. So I go upstairs, and so mind you, this is the night that he got eliminated. I go upstairs, and I look at my drawer, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, what is this doing in my drawer? Like, huh? It was just so, I was just like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. And then it was this whole thing where like, cause like there was cameras in our rooms, there was mics in our rooms and everything. Even when we weren't mic'd and everything, they still had sources to hear and see us still. So it was so crazy because after I found that, I was like, Rico, come look at this shit. Like, look at what this fool put in my shit. Like, is this?
Oh wow!
Am I crazy or is this happening? How do I say this? I was just trying to make sure I wasn't crazy.
Yes.
So I didn't, like, no, this is what's happening. This is what he tried to do. I'm like, wow, okay, so this must be what he tried to do. So the next morning, our production came in the room and was like, everyone okay? Did anyone find anything? I was like,
oh, the finger.
I was like, okay. I was like, and I said no. I was like, no. But then honestly, like probably like 15 minutes later, I was like, you know what? Let me tell them what's up. Let me tell them what's going on. I mean, they obviously already knew. So, and I am, and through the whole experience, I was always transparent and real with production. I love Daddy TV, and I can't wait to be back on set with them. I love Daddy TV. They are one of the best production companies that I've ever worked with. So so in my head, I'm like, no, like I need to tell them what's going on. I need to tell them the truth. Like I don't, like I want them just to know that I can be real with them. So like 15 minutes later, I was like, I did find something in my drawer. It was a bottle of Tito's.
And it's always Tito's.
It's always fucking Tito's.
Always do.
Oh my God.
It's always Tito's. And he was like, thank you for telling us. He was like, we already heard. And I was like, here, take it. You know what I'm saying? Let me get a shot first, then take it.
I was waiting for that. I was like, there's no way you just gave it.
No, yeah. I mean, I did that. I was like, bitch, I'm about to take a shot then. So, but like that was a rule. We couldn't bring any outside alcohol. You try to sneak it, then it'll be, consequences. I don't know if it would, I mean, they didn't want that to happen. It was a rule. They didn't say if you do it, you like get sent home, but it's like, what else, could happen? You know what I'm saying? So, I let them know that and everything. And they looked at the footage and then, they seen Nick plant the bottle in there before he left. And so that animosity, I didn't see Nick. He got eliminated, found that out, and then I seen him when they came back.
Gosh, so this is like the buildup of everything. This is
the buildup, yes. And that's why I wanted to explain that. I'm not even here trying to, like exploit Nick or trying to, spill his tea or whatever. But I mean, I, deserve to speak my truth. I wasn't just irritated and kind of annoyed for no reason. And then, like on top of that, I knew that they were already plotting. And then I just knew like Nick with that situation. And I knew Hazel, as far as I just told this bitch to go home the week before, like they were plotting, chatting. I already felt it. I already knew, like my intuition is strong. Like I just knew what was going on. So I felt the energy right when they walked out. And that's what I'm saying. Like when they walked out, it was a lot of like looking down, looking up, like you're about to ask me a question.
At me.
You're about to ask me a question. So look at me. So that's why I said that.
Gosh.
That's why I said, look at me when you talk to me. And if you can't look at me, don't ask me shit.
Nice.
And you know what? That's the real one, because I can see why you had some words. Like that's trying to get disqualified from a show. Oh, bitch, it's over. Like wait till I see you at the reunion.
Yeah, and you lucky it was a bottle of Tito's and not Casamigos. If it was Casamigos, bitch, I'm swinging.
Right. You lucky it wasn't Henny, because if it was Henny, the whole house would have been burned down. Stop playing with me. So that's just stemmed from questions. That. So, but yeah, go ahead and get into the question.
Okay, so Aaron says, why should you not be in the top two compared to the other couple? Which upon my second watch, I said, he said that wrong. It should be, why should you be in the top two over the other couple, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, because when he said it, I mean, like, y'all understood the question because you still answered it like that.
But, exactly.
But yeah, I just think he maybe got a little tripped of the words because I was like, wait, what? Why should you not be in the top two? Anyway, you say you don't need all the rah-rah. You don't need to argue a fight. We handle our shit. We are good. We're compatible. Nigel says basically the opposite. He's like, dive into conflict. Take the good with the bad. Be the roller coaster. Feel the emotions. And, there are things of merit that both of you have said. I think both of you are right to different extents. Everyone's relationship is different. So it really is up to the himbo's decision at this point,
Yeah.
Yep. Hazel says, what are your strengths that can be a breaking point for the other couples? This is another question I don't really understand.
And let me tell you,
for the other couples?
Right. Like let me tell you, when we answered that question, Hazel was like, you didn't answer the question, but okay. I got so mad. I was like, how did I not fucking answer the question? How about you ask it correctly?
Like, girl, when you ask shit like that, what am I supposed to do?
It's difficult because I'm like, what? How are my strength a breaking point for the other couples? What do you mean? Like, do you mean a breaking point to get into the top two? A breaking point as in like to break up? Like, what are we really talking about here?
I guess it was another form of asking what do you have that that other couples don't have in a different form.
Yeah.
But you know we're himbos, so it kind of is like, I mean.
and this is why I liked Marcus's question, because it was simple. It was easy. It was a normal question. He wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel. He just said, why should you win? That's an easy question. Simple question. It's not, if Molly got 3 apples and she gives 2 to Adam,
that part, yes. Oh, yes. It wasn't all the hoopla. It wasn't complicated. Straight to the point. Why should you win? Tell me now. And I respect that. You know what I'm saying? I respect that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Yeah, it really was a good question.
I mean, considering it's like 200 degrees outside, ask me a short question. Like, what do you have that they don't? Okay, bam, bam, bam.
Boom, boom, boom. Yes.
Yeah, next. Because literally that could have been the question. What do you have that they don't? That could have been the question.
That's it, right. If that's what I want to ask that.
Yeah,
you
but
gotta go all the way around it.
What are your strengths that could be a breaking point to be in the top 2, not compared to the other 2, and only in relation to if they were in the top 3? We like, girl.
It's like, hold on, wait, what?
Yeah, trying to hit the word count. I'm like, wait, hold on now. Let me break this down.
I'm like, let me break this down real quick. Ask it again. Ask slower, please.
Yeah, but like you said, it's himbos, so we come in with that mindset.
We gotta take our time a little bit. So whatever.
Mm-hmm. Daniel, who has on the cutest crop top. I love this little rust-colored crop top.
Yeah,
love that.
The shape of it and everything was so.
Yes, it's a little like kind of like asymmetrical.
Asymmetrical, yes.
That's fun. I really like
Daniel and Derek. Them bitches, they have style. I love their style. Them hoes can dress. Love that.
Yeah, that was a great out. Like when they all came out, I was like, everyone looks cute. I love Aaron's pants, but that crop top, that was it.
It ate.
And I do want to say something too. I want to say this. Yesterday, I did post a lot of stuff saying, all of the eliminated himbos were coming for me. They kind of already had their plots, had their plan or whatever, and they came for me. One person who did not come for me and who actually voted for us to stay was Daniel. Daniel was team Jimmy and Quis. Daniel, because he was an OG, and me and Daniel, like, we got along very well. Like we figured out that we also had a lot of similarities as far as music, as far as style, as far as doing stuff like in the industry and everything. And then when I found out he had a twin, I was like, oh my God, Daniel has a twin. Twice as fun. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I really, really care and really love Daniel and Derek. I'm really happy that I've had them in the house with me. And Daniel has shown nothing but love. So I want to be clear about that. When I'm speaking about, when I said I'm insecure bitches, Daniel was not one of them.
To me, I feel like I already knew that, just because seeing how the twins are on the show, I'm like, they don't really get in anyone else's drama. So like when you said it's a line of insecure bitches coming for secure bitch, I was like, okay, yeah. But
I knew who he was talking about.
Mine is Daniel, because I feel like Daniel stays with his own shit. He doesn't.
Yes, and I think from a viewer standpoint, like if you really think about it, like you would know that. You would know that I'm not talking about Daniel. So and then Daniel even told me, like, there was even I even said, like, I want Jimmy and Quis to stay. And then everybody else was kind of like, no, like, but they didn't air that. And he said that he wished that they would have aired that. Just so, I mean, it can show that somebody wanted us to stay. Shit. I mean, but he did tell me that he was the only one who wanted me and Jimmy to stay. Yeah, and I appreciate that. Daniel, I love you. I love you so much, Daniel. I do.
Shout out Daniel. Shout out both.
Shout out to Daniel. Shout out to the twins.
Shout out to the
when y'all get that spinoff, I'm having a cameo, so I'm on.
Oh,
shameless plug.
Amen. And then last but not least, Nick starts off his question. Big fan of your relationship, Rico. That's when I smelt the setup from that point on.
Theme, yeah.
Said, would you ever talk behind your friends' backs? Which
what does that have to do with a relationship?
Yes.
What does that have to do with what's going on right now? And
I appreciate that he asked a question that wasn't super crazy like everyone else. But he maybe went a little too far in the opposite direction and just asked something completely,
nonsensical. Like it was.
Yeah, it would be like if I had to ask you about your relationship and I said, okay, so do you like jeans or do you like chinos? And it's like what does that really? What are we doing here? What does that have to do with this?
And this wasn't some deeper level question. Like when Jimmy asked about the laundry, this wasn't some deeper question. It was just, would you talk about someone behind their back?
Driven.
And I was like, what?
It was emotional driven. It wasn't like to really find out. Let me really see who should be deserving to be in the top 2. It was because of me and history.
Rigor Morris. That's what I have right here. This is
Rigor Morris.
No, yeah. And I mean, the thing is, because how do I say this? Like, when he got eliminated, he wanted me to save him. But it just, like, multiple people wanted him gone. And like I said, I had a bond, like already a solid bond with Rico. So it was his time to go. And I wasn't about to go against my alliance, some solid that I have to save him. Like, it just, it wasn't about to happen. And then I said that. I explained that to him. But he still wanted to do what he did when they came back. So
I mean, even looking back, he had like 27 votes in a room of 15 people. There was, even if you voted to save him, there was nothing you could do by yourself.
That's what I was saying. Like, it is what it is. And you just kind of got to accept it. And it's a competition. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to stay. Somebody has to leave. And so that's why I was just like, for real, like, you taking this game so personal to where, like, you get eliminated, but you want to try to get me disqualified. You know what I'm saying?
A decision has to be made at the end of the day, regardless. So charge it to my mind, not to my heart, because if you got to vote somebody out.
Right. Somebody got to go.
Mm-hmm. And then the himbos start talking. Nick says he heard some fake answers.
I wonder who he's talking about.
Hazel says something here, which really confused me. And I would love a clarification from him. Hazel, if you happen to see this, let us know. Because he says, Quis tried the talk in private thing and then waited until we were in a group to come for me.
I'm like,
but if he talked to you in private, is that not him not waiting till you're in a group? Because he's coming to you in private to try to solve the situation. So I was just very, very confused by that.
Yeah, I had to rewatch that and really listen to what he said. I'm like, and then it came for you in a group of people. In that group, Anthony said what he said or whatever. That scene, I was about to tell Kane what I told Hazel. And that was going to be my discussion at our DIY disaster. Let Kane in on how I felt. Basically the same thing that I just told Hazel, but I'm in a group setting. But then Anthony did turn the focus to Hazel very fast, very strong. Even I wasn't expecting that. And I even said to myself, I was like, let me not even, I'm not even going to turn up on her. I'm not even going to turn up too much on her because I'm not about to be seen. It's not going to be 2-on-1 with her. Like, it's not that serious. So I wasn't even trying to come off as strong as Anthony was. But like I said, I even was like, Hazel, I told you what I told you. Now, Kane, this is what I'm about to tell you.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. But I mean, people want a reason for whatever. So
yeah, I feel like if you didn't talk to him in private, then maybe it would have made more sense. Oh, he didn't even try to talk to me in private. He waited till we were in a group. That I could understand that. But the way
didn't they show both clips of like you talking to Hazel in private and then they immediately showed the group ones? I was like, well, baby, them is two different things. Like
that part just made zero sense to me. And then Jimmy's going off in the house. Talk to me about this.
The hottest mic moment.
Yeah. He was telling me too before this aired. He was like, "Oh my god, like I'm kind of like dreading what they caught on the hot mics." Because let me tell you, after they sent the himbos back and they were like, "Okay, you guys go inside and we're gonna have you guys separated and they're gonna deliberate." Me and Jimmy were like, we were both fuming. Like we were like, "Bitch, we might as well leave now." The fuck, like what the fuck, like they all are on one page and it's to send us home. I'm like, this is bullshit. And then you could just tell the energy and the vibe and everything. It was just, we are targeting Quis and Jimmy. We want to test Quis and Jimmy. Let's test them. And Jimmy, like he had it. He had it. We were just honestly just like letting steam off. And I was like, bitch, it's okay, because like whatever happened, we from the reunion soon, so we all gonna be in the same space, and I'm gonna be able to say what I want to say. And we had to be. They kept telling us to be quiet and be on ice. I was like, and there's no on ice at the reunion. So, and I was like telling Jimmy, I was just like, I know it's frustrating because like Jimmy, like he's a very peaceful, very reasonable man. He don't deal with bullshit. If it's bullshit, he turns the other way. Like he doesn't deal with it. So I do think he had his little moments with Nigel. But as far as other stuff, I think he did keep bottled in. So at that point, when he knew that we were being targeted, when we went back inside the house, he just let it off, let it loose. And I was just
that bottle pop, baby.
That bottle pop. And I was just telling him, like, look, we're going to be at the reunion. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about these hoes. They mad because we here, they not. So, and like I said, this is the only way that we'll be able to leave the house. If everybody teams up and wants us gone, this is the only way that they'll be able to do this. So they had to team up and do it. So here's what it is.
Like Jimmy said in our DMs, he went full Chicago.
Full Chicago.
He did.
And that's one thing. Like, okay, yeah, I was dating a white guy, but baby, a white guy from Chicago. He got some spice. He got some zest. And he has these layers to him that just kept peeling and peeling, and I loved it. I loved it so much. I loved it. I did.
And that brings us to the end of the episode. We have a very emotional time going home. You will say some very sweet words. The emotions are flowing. And you know what? I think you both had a very strong showing on this show. You had a very strong showing in both your relationship and also personally. I think you both shined in a lot of different ways, both in your scenes with each other and your scenes with the rest of the cast. So it was a joy to watch you.
Thank you so much. And honestly, like, I wasn't, in the house and filming the show like, I want to look like this or we need to look like this. I just was living and, enjoying myself and enjoying who I was with. And I feel so grateful and blessed to have been paired up with Jimmy and to have grew that bond with him. We have a bond for life that, that we're going to have. And that was, I think, what got me when I couldn't hold the tears in anymore. Those were real tears. When he was speaking, I was just like, a part of me was like, man, maybe if I, wasn't a bitch, maybe I could have got us to top 2. So a part of me was like, is it my fault? Another part was like, man, I did this whole experience with this great, well-spoken man, and I don't know why I felt like we were like not going to see each other again or something like that. And I was like, I don't want this to be the last time we're in each other's space. You know what I'm saying? I want to still see you again, and that's what made me very emotional. Was just the experience that me and Jimmy had, and I guess it finally just like it was like a release. Like we got eliminated. It was like, and it was even more tears than that. Me and Jimmy had like went to the side, and I got on my knees, and I was just like, oh, Jesus, all this plotting, all this plotting, all this anxiety, all this like tension and everything is like, that's it. And then another thing was like, damn, like we did that shit too. People maybe thought we were maybe like the underdogs of the season. People were like, they're kind of in the middle, not the weakest couple, not the strongest couple yet. We'll see what happens, and I think that people like thought that, but I definitely feel like we showed them like, no, just because we didn't have drama with each other, we're actually trying to work on having a real relationship. 100%. And that's why I was grateful to be with Jimmy. I would do 100 shows with Jimmy again. I would. Love Jimmy. I love you, Jimmy.
Oh,
I do.
honestly, that was my favorite thing watching y'all was just like of all the craziness going on in the house, I think you and Jimmy gave me like stability. Like I know wherever I went, whatever drama I
It's
had, I could come back
relatable.
to y'all and I was like, okay, I have found a secure, safe spot. I am here.
I mean, like we're making out, enjoying each other. You know, we are like sneaking off, doing whatever we want, letting the fools run amok in the palace. Like,
Yeah.
vibe.
And I think I brought this up. I think for me, the turning point, because I said, like I said early on, you guys weren't the focal point. For me, when it came out that y'all had found some secret room to hook up in the mansion,
Mhm.
that's when it clicked for me. I was like, oh, no, they're stronger than we realize. And just because they're not like the main thing happening, they're still doing stuff because if they're fucking off in a room, they're stronger and more secure than I think anyone's like taking credit for.
Mhm.
It's not my fault that they don't film 24/7 like Big Brother.
Oh.
We had time. We found our loopholes, and you know, like we found time alone because you know, of course, it's very very hard to have some privacy or some peace and quiet filming or just in a house like that. So moments that we could have that we took advantage of it for sure. Not just sex and not just a whole bunch of sexual shit, but we
But
took
like private stuff.
Mhm.
yeah, exactly. Just to have like private moments, deep conversations, one-on-ones without being interrupted or without somebody coming. Like we took advantage of that fully.
We cannot wait to see what happens in the reunion.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm excited
good
to see more Quis on my TV screens, hopefully.
Yeah, no, yeah, you definitely will. The reunion is gonna be really, really good. We were told by one of the producers that, you know, this is one of Out TV's most craziest reunions yet.
Excited. I can't wait.
Yes. And I'm actually literally getting ready to leave to go film my next show tomorrow in New Hampshire. So yeah, so just, you know, keep an eye out on my social medias, Marquise and Harrell. I'm gonna just go ahead and spell it out for y'all. Marquis, the letter N, Harrell. I also have a Twitter, which is the Big Quis, TheBigQuis. It's a little fresh. I had to make a new Twitter, so follow me on there and on TikTok at the Quis. So I'm, you know, got some new projects coming. Definitely still modeling, and modeling and TV is what you're going to see a lot of in the future for me. So it does not stop here. I'm definitely keeping my foot on next. So,
amen.
Yes,
Mario, where's the booty to the origami at?
The booty be twisting and turning the origami on Twitter at booty origami. Ew. Yes.
Ew.
It gets better every time. I swear.
Yes, I love that.
I love it. It's so fun. Mario sign-offs are my favorite.
You literally never know what you're gonna get.
Oh, it's great.
That's the best
my
part
name
about it.
is Jake. You can follow me at Poison Touch Pod for my other podcast, The Poison Touch Advice Hour, where a gay and his friends give you the best and worst advice to deal with all of life's predicaments. You can also follow me for my personal stuff at Crowkunk, where I mostly talk about X-Men, and comics and video games and some other shit. All my dorky stuff goes to my personal stuff. Yeah, and if you are listening on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Music, give us a 5-star, leave us a comment, copy link, share, do all the good things. Because, you know, all the better the algorithm is, the better we are. And the better we are, the better For the Love of Dilfs is. You know, we feed off each other. So when the show grows, we grow. When we grow, the show grows. It's better for everybody involved. So
yes. Again, I want to say thank you so much for having me on. I feel like it was a perfect time to me to speak my truth, and you know, everything happened for a reason. So thank you for having me on the podcast. It was amazing. I can't wait for what's in the future for y'all.
Thank you.
We're
so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
And
so
we
much.
we'll see you next week for the reunion. I'm so excited.
Yes. The reunion is coming up, so stay tuned.
All right. Bye, friends.
All right. See you.
Bye.